Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning into News 9 Live. You've heard it time and again, haven't you, that love transcends all kinds of iconoclasms, all kinds of boundaries, which is why this is a special broadcast. And do stay on with us, because joining us in the studio today is a remarkable storyteller whose latest novel, Banaras Meets Berlin, takes on readers on an unforgettable journey of love and cultural discovery. This book artfully weaves together the vibrant tapestry of Berlin's cosmopolitan flair. Well, we've seen it all on Instagram, haven't we? And Banaras's ancient spiritual charm. Through the eyes of her characters, Ricky and Ragini, the author has tried to explore the beautiful chaos of intercultural romance, highlighting how love can transcend boundaries, beliefs, and even pandemics. Her work not only entertains but also challenges us to embrace diversity and the unexpected turns of life with open hearts. Well, with me in the studio is Dr. Yojna Sah Jain. Very warm welcome to you, Doctor. An entrepreneur, critically acclaimed published writer, a TEDx speaker, and renowned poetess at the international forums, if we've missed out any of those feathers in her cap. With a corporate career spanning over 17 years and a doctorate in pharmacology, she brings a wealth of experience from the pharmaceutical and healthcare domain in both India and Germany as well. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Jain is an artist at heart, driven by an enduring passion for writing and artistic expression. Please welcome the talented author who brings this enchanting Indo-German love story to life. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Yojna Sah Jain with her book, Banaras Meets Berlin. You know what, Doctor? I'm going to get the ball rolling here because there is so much to talk about as well. I haven't really gotten the chance to go through the entirety of the book, but several interesting excerpts, in this in latest novel over here. It's being marketed as a love story, as a romantic novel. But I'm sure that there's more than what meets the eye over here. Can you unravel those layers for all the viewers out there?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much. I'm so excited and delighted to be in this studio with you, Kabir. Yeah. So, yes, you're right. Banaras Meets Berlin is a love story, but it is much more than that. It is woven with the delicate threads of love, enchantment, thrill, and loads of romance. And people, I'm sure, will find it very exciting. It intertwines the lives of the journeys of fierce and rebellious, talkative girl, a chirpy girl, Ragini, from the ancient city of Benares, and a reserved, shy, little bit mysterious, and as Ragini points out, weird young man from Berlin, the capital of Germany. But calling it or labeling it just as a love story, I think will be a big disgrace, a grave, disservice to the essence of this novel. Indeed, it is a documentation of the current contemporary socio-political situation in Germany and India. It is a poignant documentation of the pandemic era, contrasting the experiences of living in Germany versus India during those hard times. It is an intense and raw portrayal of the life of an immigrant in Germany in current situation. And apart from that, through these pages, you will get a reflection of xenophobia, that is racial discrimination. You will see the echoes of Germany's dark history that cast shadows on the future of our protagonist, and the rapidly evolving socio-political situation in India and Germany. So there's a much more. Yes, it is a love story, but it is also a story.
Novel at
exactly,
play over here.
Yes.
I was in London just a couple of weeks back covering the United Kingdom's elections, and I know when you mean what xenophobia is for the immigrant population over there. We're going to touch upon that also a little bit. But what got you writing this book in the first place? Can you throw some light on what led you to writing this, novel, this love romance happening between Banaras and Berlin?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm a romantic person. I'm a very light-hearted, and I love, the joys of the small joys of life. The plot of the novel started as a self-challenge to myself, because before this, my story collection was critically acclaimed. It got success, and I got a lot of feedback, and it motivated me. And it challenged me that okay, stories, poems is okay, but am I really a wordsmith? If yes, then can I really write a novel? Can I really write a long story, a long narrative? And I said, okay, let me try it out. And my husband, he was actually the catalyst behind it. There were phases when I was like, okay, no, I can't do it. But he was like, okay, keep on going. Yeah, it will happen. So it started with that self-challenge. And the idea that I'm living in Germany as an immigrant, and there are so many observations. There are so many things I want to tell about as a storyteller. So, and that too during a pandemic period where so many interesting things were going around. So it was a humble effort of documenting the things going on in that period, but slowly it evolved into a romantic fiction, because when this choice came in front of me, okay, should I write about a boy or a girl? Of course a girl, an immigrant, and how's the life in Germany, what's going on in India. So it took me almost 3 years with, of course,
that's a long time.
Yes, of course, a lot of pause in between. And there were many times when I thought, okay, it's too much, I'm getting lost in the plot. Let me, let it go. But yeah, I think Lord Shiva had his blessings on me, and he.
Is that why you've chosen Banaras, Kashi as well? Because I was going to come to the point, why Berlin, one of those global cities, and why Kashi, which many say is the birth of this universe, the birthing point of this universe.
Yeah.
Two prime locations. I mean, is there some sort of significance that you've dealt in the novel as well?
I think it was a divine whispering, because Berlin, of course, stood resolute as one of the cities in this plot, because I was living there. But when I thought of another piece in this puzzle, in this story, honestly, there's no answer to it. I could not think of any other city in India than Banaras. That was the first name came to my mind, and then I had not to think anymore on this thing. So, and otherwise also, as you mentioned, Banaras is, I think it's a wonderful city. It's a city of tales. Every character, every setting is a plot in itself for any novel.
Every piece of architecture,
exactly.
every gully, every alleyway has its own character.
Museum. It's a living
the confluence
museum
of education and
history.
art. The rivers meet up, where culture meets education. All of that is happening.
Absolutely. There's so much. So I think choosing that city, whether it was by chance or it was whispering in my ears by the divine, but yeah, I think no other city could have done that justice to this plot as Banaras. And I'm very happy about it, that it finally, it came out beautiful. Yeah, so that is the story behind
We also have a small little promotional, AV of sorts.
Okay.
Let's play that out so that the viewers can also enjoy what the premise of, Banaras Meets Berlin is all about. Love's uncharted journey, an Indo-German romance defying boundaries. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Love defies reason, ignores caution, and propels us towards countless mistakes. And Cupid, that mischievous troublemaker, has whisked her away on a wild adventure across continents this time. Meet Ragini, a chirpy and rebellious spirit from Banaras, one of the world's most ancient.
Here it says, Back in Banaras, things had changed during my time away. Cleaner streets, better connectivity, and the fancy Vishwanath corridor welcomed me. Of course, you've drawn on the contemporary developments that have taken place and shape in Kashi as well. Have you drawn on some personal, reference, your own life? Have you picked up on your, personal stories and sort of embedded them in Banaras Meets Berlin?
Of course, it always happens because any story is an amalgamation of facts and fiction.
How much of facts, like on the Libra scales, how much of fact and how much of fiction?
It's hard to say, and I am not going to spill the beans. I'm not going to spill the secret, but yes, it's a good combination.
All right, then.
Not only my story, but yes, there are facts, stories of my known ones, my friends. I have not copied and pasted somebody's life here. It's
Well,
of course
then
with a
if I could
creative
paraphrase my question, how have you balanced the cultural nuances of, let's say, what happens in Berlin and what happens in Banaras during the course of one's journey whilst they're reading this particular book? How much of Berlin, how much of Banaras, and was that a challenge, balancing the cultural identity of both these places?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was the greatest challenge I faced while developing the story because it is not a unidimensional story. Okay, it is in terms of unidimensional. I mean, in general, as a writer, my style is mostly satirical, and everything is twisted. I mean, it's
So can viewers expect some funny, tones
funny,
and a humor bone out at display?
Lot of funny tones, lot of thrill, and with each chapter you will find some cue, and you will be, I'm sure, curious to know what's in the next one. So coming back to your question, yes. It was a big challenge to put together the two cultures without burdening it with stereotypes related to that particular city.
Right.
Okay. Secondly, my characters are not cultural caricatures. Indeed, they are like opposites of what their city represents.
All right.
Yeah. So when I sketched these characters at the beginning, of course, I had to adhere to them. Though the story in terms of the time frame, it lingers for like 3 years time period, 3.5 years time period. It starts from the Corona time and ends in 2023. So we see a lot of changes in the surroundings. We see a lot of changes in the individuals as well, because they evolve. So this is, I would say, I will rephrase that this is not just a love story, not just a romantic love story of two people. It is actually a love story of two cities, two places, two countries, because I believe in finding similarities between spaces and people rather than looking at the differences, and that's what I have tried to do through this novel, through this piece of work.
I also don't
and it was very challenging.
I'm 100% sure it was. I mean, writing just about Banaras would have been challenging alone. You've put in another aspect of Berlin here as well. But, not to spoil this for the viewers and the readers out there, two more questions very quickly I want your input on.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the pandemic. Everybody was running from pillar to post. I'm sure it was a horrid scene back in Berlin as well.
Yeah.
How did you sort of, facilitate those sensitivities very nicely into a book without, let's say, hurting other people's sentiments or, traumatizing them with exactly what happened back then?
Yeah, indeed, it was a big challenge because I didn't want it to make it was the backdrop of the novel, but without making it too overly melancholic, to ensure that it acts as a facilitator.
I mean, coming from a satirical writer, melancholy and, satire don't necessarily.
Yeah, it's a long book. It's a 280 pages book. There you will find different shades.
All right.
Different emotions. Yeah.
Also, it's a roller coaster journey for all the readers out there.
It's a roller coaster journey. Absolutely, you will find all the shades of emotions, and that's what I think I excel in. I try to do is to see that to explore the human experiences and the emotions that connect as human beings.
Right.
And I hope that I have done justice to this delicate
So what's the largest message that you want the readers to take back home with them?
Yes, unity in diversity. As we say in India, unity in diversity, I believe that is a global phenomena. Across the world, we all are same with similar challenges, similar personal issues, social issues. We are individuals and we have our own set of, path and goals in life. But then what differentiates us and what helps us achieve what we want is our attitude towards life.
Right on.
Yeah, so unity in diversity, positivity, personal growth, resilience, and of course that amidst all the uncertainty and challenges, love prevails. That's
Aag
the
ka dariya aur
universal
doob ke
language.
jana hai.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to wait and find out. You can get your copies on
Amazon,
on
Flipkart.
Amazon and Flipkart, and of
And
course,
from the publisher.
this seems to be like the right plot to turn into a big Bollywood motion picture as well,
Yeah.
where you never know. On that note, we're going to slip into a quick commercial break here, ladies and gentlemen. But Dr. Yojna, many thanks for joining with us and helping us out and bringing us up to speed with what this beautiful book actually represents. So many different facets and layers. Love's uncharted journey, an Indo-German romance defying boundaries. Banaras meets Berlin. We're going to slip into a quick commercial break here. Top developments right on the other side. If you haven't already, catch yourselves a copy on Amazon and Flipkart as well.